Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, the Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post, the Pashat Vayeishev, is going to look at the dreams of Yosef. Now, obviously, from a psychological perspective, this leans itself towards Freud's understanding and Freud's view of the subconscious and the interpretation of dreams. He even wrote his famous works on the idea of the interpretation of dreams and how that is a doorway, a door to understanding the person's subconscious and subconscious internal desires. And what we see from this, if we can develop this further with Yosef, it's unclear exactly where it lies along the spectrum of nevuah, of prophecy, of dreams, which, as Rashi says, always contains elements that are not true or that are false or are impossible even. Aspects that can't be reality. So you get this mixed up combination within dreams of perhaps a person's genuine desires and wishes, but also elements and aspects that can't be true, which makes dreams difficult to interpret and difficult to actually give any credibility to them. But if we understand that it could be at least, it's a way of expressing something within a person's internal workings, something about the subconscious that is being expressed through one's dreams, even if it's not fully based on facts or fully based on reality. There's an aspect that goes into it, a sort of a psychological perspective, which might not reach the level of Freud of giving so much significance and weight to the dreams, but it gives an insight into where a person is holding. And it could be, which we see with Yosef, is that there is this maybe an expression of the subconscious of wanting to be a leader, of this is something which maybe he views within himself as based on his characteristics, his personality, that he has desires and aspirations to be a leader. It's somewhere which, as we said, fits into the idea of nevuah, that maybe this is Hashem's plan, that he understands that he's been given these skills and talents and been given an opportunity and a role to fulfill, which he connects with nevuah, that he understands these are dreams that the Kadosh Baruch Hu has given and placed in his mind. At the same time, there is an aspect, as we say, the person's internal interpretation and subconscious desires of perhaps wanting to be a leader, which is what the brothers at least picked up on. The brothers reacted and responded in this angry way, in a jealous way of, after hearing the dreams, after the first dreams, they see this younger brother wanting to be a leader, to subjugate them, and they acted accordingly in anger and with jealousy. But Yosef, in a way, it's interesting how we see the events playing out. And although the dreams, to a certain extent, actually were fulfilled, we have to understand through the Psukim, we see that Yosef, in a way, orchestrated, but he knew that these dreams had significance, but he made sure, as the Mefarshim explained, that he made sure that they came about. The Ramban points out that the dreams, certainly the dreams weren't fully fulfilled in their entirety, because not all the family came to bow down to him when he was in Mitzrayim. He tried in a way to orchestrate to make sure that Binyamin was going to come. This was in a way a self-fulfilling prophecy that, based on his own internal desires and aspirations to reach a level of leadership, he understood that maybe that was his role to fulfill, that was what the Kadosh Baruch Hu had intended for him, but there's a self-fulfilling prophecy of being connected with his own wishes and desires that, in a way, as the Psukim explained, Yosef was trying to also orchestrate this, to fulfill the dreams, to be able to bring about the interpretation that he understood from his dreams. And furthermore, from a psychological perspective, we can see what was this tension that came about through Yosef and the brothers because of these dreams. That the brothers just called him a dreamer, in a derogative way, giving him this title of just being a dreamer. What does it mean to be a dreamer? There's negative connotations in the way that the brothers were expressing it. Someone who's just got these fanciful wishes and desires. But being a dreamer, which is what Yosef was, if we understand it from a psychological perspective, and where the tension was coming, is that Yosef was drawn to progress in his life, psychological progress. He was looking to develop himself, his character, to use the talents that he had. He wanted to advance himself in his life, not just for his own sake. Certainly he was connected with the skills and the talents that he had, but also for the benefit of the others. He understood that he could bring about advancement and success and provide for his family. And he was looking for economic growth, of being able to provide and to support his family. He was looking for leadership because he understood that that's what he could do. He had the skills to be able to be a good, successful leader. So in a way, it fits into the humanistic view of self-actualization. If we look at Maslow's view, we get an understanding, or Carl Rogers, this humanistic view of tapping into your talents and skills and being able to really develop them, because a person is naturally, according to the humanistic perspective, a person is naturally inclined and driven. They have an inherent proclivity towards growth, development, and actually achieving success and advancing in one's life. That's what Yosef was, and that was his perspective. That's how he viewed himself and his life. And the brothers, in a way, they were just shepherds. They were just shepherds who were looking at their life as in a very realistic way. We work the land, we provide for ourselves, we work with what we have. There's a status quo that they were, in a way, satisfied and to remain at. That was the default. But Yosef was different. Yosef had a view and a perspective of growing and developing and continuing in a way of being a leader, which the brothers couldn't necessarily understand. They didn't have necessarily that perspective of self-actualization, of growth and self-fulfillment that was driving Yosef throughout his life. So this gives us a broader understanding of the psychological workings behind Yosef's dreams and how this led to the tension between him and his brothers. Have a good Shabbos and keep well.